Good morning. This morning we're taking the train to the Sea of Aragon. Not exactly full. Now this was a trip I was going to do on Thursday, but the Thursday train goes at 5:35, and I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, looked at the clock and thought, not today. Sundays the train goes at 9:21. So that's what we're doing. Right, let adventure begin.
Aye aye. New tarmac.
Looks like the tide's out on the Sea of Aragon. Very, very low water in the river. This has been known to actually dry up through the Ebro, and it's dry, or it can be dry. It seems incredible. To see the sea. This is our last glimpse of it, I think. Now, I was quite intrigued to see on Google Maps something that said Ninja Turtle. That sort of does almost maybe look like a Ninja Turtle's head. So behind me is the church that forms part of the castle complex here in Caspe. It's the Castillo del Compromiso, and that Castle of the Compromise. And the compromise was that in 1412, when the old king had died, the King Martin of Aragon died, he didn't leave an heir. So normally there'd be civil wars and strife, and instead the three provinces that made up the Kingdom of Aragon put forward three of their most learned lawmakers, and between the 9 of them, they decided on the succession. And after due deliberation, they decided on Ferdinand I, who basically changed the whole history of Spain. His grandson, by his heirs, his grandson, Ferdinand II, Ferdinand the Catholic, he was the guy who pretty much is seen as unifying Spain into one country. Now that little castle, it's not really medieval anyway. It is a castle of sorts. It's actually a watchtower, a telegraph tower, and a rifleman's tower. It was built in 1875, so it's not particularly old at all. It's private now, so we can't go up there. Pretty unassuming brothel. Just had to turn round because I saw this sign. Really wasn't expecting it. I had no idea that one of the many Caminos de Santiago came through here. I guess it's literally that gravel track there. So I think we're coming down into the valley of the Guadalupe River now. Surprisingly nice. There's the old bridge. The old bridge is down this way, so
Go and have a look. Quite rolling country, this. I suppose I was expecting flat, but I knew there was 1,000 meters of climbing today. So we're going off-road. Hope we don't puncture. Absolutely miles from home. But there was a little thing I wanted to show you. Quite bumpy. Oh, I'm going to have to come back up this. I'll be pushing very, very loose dust. I hate dust. Why do I do these things? It would have been perfectly nice along the main road. Just a sheet of rock. It's smooth-ish. Not that smooth. Oh, hell, I'm going to come off here, aren't I? Oh dear, oh dear. Yes, we're coming to see a bridge. I'm getting off. Ridiculous. Well, it's going to try and ride across. Absolutely no chance. Massive cobbles like this.
It's my first time walking in my new mountain bike shoes. It is somewhat easier. I wouldn't have been able to walk up this in cleats. Well, you know, road shoe cleats anyway. These are mountain bike shoe cleats, so they're recessed, so it's easy to walk on. Anyway, let's get back on the bike.
Oh, this rather magnificent pile was owned by Catalonia's most influential banker in the 19th century, and he later went on to become the mayor of Barcelona, and that's his pad, and it's for sale if you want it. So, this is the town of Maelia. We have been here before because this is the one that has the fantastic story of the maiden.
So I've told you the story of Maelia before, but it's a good story, so I'll tell it again. The lord of the manor, he fancied this maiden, and he actually asked for her hand in marriage, but he was old and ugly, and the maiden was already betrothed to her love. And the Lord couldn't handle this, so he had the lad kidnapped, and he basically said, "I'll release him if you." To the maiden, he said, "I'll release him if you marry me." And she said no. So he actually started to torture this lad, and the maiden basically went a bit loopy because she could hear the screams of her beloved from the castle, and so eventually she relented, and she gave the Lord her hand, which she had severed and served up to him on a silver tray.
Now, that's not a castle. That's just a posh bloke's house from medieval times. Climbs are really long. So, unbeknownst to me, there's a long 8% grade that I've got to do. I've got 1.5 more kilometers of this. Just gonna keep plugging away. I mean, it's really nice getting to the top, but then when you have to go back down again, only to come back up again, now that I'm sure you'll all recognise is the Valley of P. Feels like I've been climbing for hours, but those windmills are the highest part of the ride. Ooh la la! That was really hard work, but hopefully now there's a bit of rolling stuff up on top of this ridge, and then it's, I think, 20 something kilometers of roughly downhill. It's not fast downhill, it's pedalling downhill, but I'm looking forward to that. That was a really hard first 55 kilometers. Nearly home. Dropping down now into Mora. It feels like someone switched on a fan heater and pointed it at my face. No idea why I found that one quite so tough. It's quite long, the longest I've done for a while. It was about 85 kilometres. But we're back, I made it. Until next week, thanks for watching.